let's get into the Matt Gaetz gate. All right, folks. So, Gaetz gate, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Can you believe it? So, it's already been pretty bad. Like, let's be honest here, folks. This scandal started off pretty much as bad as you can get. And then somehow, right, it gets even worse. The Cash App receipts, right? The 17-year-olds, the hotel rooms, the plane tickets. It's really, really, in the words of our former president,
not good. Believe me, not good.
It's not a good situation to be in. So, now what's even more interesting is the Gaetz' associate, who, as far as I'm aware, may or may not be working with the feds now to rat out Matt Gaetz. So this should be funny. Gaetz paid accused sex trafficker who then Venmo'd a teenager. That's no good, right? Like, that's not good, right? On the level of, like, 1 to not good, it's...
no good, really bad for you.
Like, it's really bad. So let's read. In 2 late-night Venmo transactions in May 2018, Representative Matt Gaetz sent his friend, the accused sex trafficker Joel Greenberg... I love that sentence, by the way. That sentence. Matt Gaetz sent his friend... the accused sex trafficker. Sometimes English is just so fucking perfect. $900. The next morning, over the course of 8 minutes... Yo, the writing style. I can't with this fucking writing style. The next morning, over the course of 8 minutes, Greenberg used the same app to send 3 young women varying sums of money. In total, the transactions amounted to $900. That's crazy. The memo field for the first of Gaetz' transactions to Greenberg was titled Test. A classic. In the second, the Florida GOP congressman wrote, quote, hit up underscore. But instead of a blank, Gaetz wrote a nickname for one of the recipients. Why would you write that? Seriously! Why would you write that on a fucking cash transaction? Like, it's not like you're going to the fucking Kmart and buying a blender, motherfucker. Like, you're engaging in illegal activity. Like, again, the GOP, Republican members of Congress, are dumb motherfuckers. These guys are some dumb motherfuckers. Like, seriously. I mean, goddamn. Like, fuck me. I just, like... so stupid. The Daily Beast is not sharing the nickname. Yeah. When Greenberg then made his Venmo payments to these young women, he described the money as being for, quote, tuition, school, and school. What the fuck? The Daily Beast examined those records as a scandal, rooted in a criminal case against Greenberg and Gulf's Gaetz. Yes, I think I messed up a pronunciation of a word there, but Greenberg, the former Seminole County tax collector. I love that he's a tax collector. Like, what is this? Like, remember when he had this, like, weird voicemail that he left on someone, and he's like, it's your favorite tax collector here. It's like, imagine, like, identifying as a tax collector. Like, I'll identify as a YouTuber, right? It's kind of embarrassing, right? If I'm in, like, a social situation and you know, people ask, hey, what do you do? I feel slightly embarrassed, right? But I'll say, like, yeah, you know what? I'm a YouTuber. But imagine someone asking you what you're doing, and you're just like, I'm a tax collector. It's like, all right. I mean, cool. Anyway... has now been federally indicted on 33 counts, including sex trafficking crimes involving a 17-year-old. Court documents say Greenberg was, quote, engaged in sugar daddy relationships. Jesus Christ. And the New York Times says a Justice Department investigation is looking into Gaetz' involvement in the cash for sex ring. Lord have motherfucking mercy. Gaetz and Greenberg are both connected through Venmo to this then 18-year-old woman who now works in the porn industry. I have no problem with that for reference. According to a friend of the girl. And on Thursday, Greenberg's attorney and prosecutors indicated during a court hearing that they expected Greenberg to strike a plea deal, likely meaning he plans to cooperate with investigators. Now again, 18-year-old, works in the porn industry. I don't give a shit. I have no care in the world whatsoever. Unless they groomed this person. Like, if you're 18 and these people have a history of paying 17-year-olds and they may have groomed someone and then maybe started paying them when they're 18, that's still a huge problem. But as far as I'm concerned, the idea that they're in the porn industry, don't give a fuck. The idea that he paid an 18-year-old, I barely give a fuck. Unless it's indicative of grooming and that other sort of thing. This week, during the reporting of the story, Gaetz' once public list of Venmo transactions disappeared. Oh shit. Greenberg's Venmo account is not currently publicly accessible, but the Daily Beast was able to obtain partial records of Greenberg's past online transactions through a source. Greenberg and Gaetz are also connected on Venmo to at least one other woman that Greenberg paid with taxpayer funds using a government-issued credit card. Everyone's favorite tax collector, right? Seminole County auditors flagged hundreds of those payments as questioned or unaccounted for, and in total found more than $300,000 in suspicious or unjustified expenses. The Daily Beast was able to obtain the credit card data through a public records request. Imagine. These people. No one has any idea what he was doing. Zero, said Daniel J. O'Keefe, an accountant who conducted a forensic audit of the county. The arrogance of these guys. They just felt like they were above the law. I've never seen it this bad. You can read the rest of that if you want here. This is a good quote. I'm sure Matt Gaetz is not feeling very comfortable today, Scheller said. Anyway, so that's the kind of situation we're at right now. Not good. Again, in the words of our former president,
no good. No good.
It's just a really bad situation. So, and again, I want to be very explicit that the idea that someone working in the porn industry is something to be fear-mongering about, not my thing. So I just want to be very explicit about that. Because I've seen a lot of Twitter posts about how, like, oh, look at this person, you know, like, thinking, like, that's somehow, like, paying someone who's in the sex industry is somehow as bad as paying, like, an actual child. You know, like, I'm sorry, like, those are not equivalent in my mind, so I just want to be very explicit about that. Yeah, so that is the situation with Gaetzgate continued, part 24.